What is going on, guys? It is 2023, which means it is time again for another library tour. There's been a lot of books added since last time. A few things have been sold off. I'm mainly trying to focus on omnibus, hardcovers, or deluxe editions. So sit back, relax, and I hope you find some books that interest you. So just to give you a quick overview, the left-hand side is going to be all my DC Vertigo. In the center, we have Vertigo Continued, followed by Dark Horse Library, Image, and Indie. On the next shelf, we mainly have Marvel and Image hardcovers. After that, it is mainly manga and Dark Horse, following more manga, Dark Horse, Boom, Indie, Titan, Humanoids, and European stuff. It's not perfect, but it currently is what it is. Starting off in our DC Vertigo section, just above it, we have some nice graded books. We're going to be going fast. We have 100 Bullets by Brian Azzarello, Animal Man by Grant Morrison, Gotham Central by Ed Brubaker, Jonah Hex, Weird Western Tales. Hopefully we get some more Jonah Hex in the future. We've got Lucifer Volume 1 and 2 by Mike Carey. Great covers, I absolutely love them. Then we have Planetary by Warren Ellis. I've currently upgraded my Preacher from trade paperback, so I have Preacher Omnibus Volume 1, Volume 2 is on the way. We have Hellblazer by Garth Ennis. Next to that, we have Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. On the second shelf, we have Sandman Omnibus Volume 1, 2, and 3, Swamp Thing Bronze Age, Swamp Thing Nancy Collins, Swamp Thing The New 52, Swamp Thing New Roots, The Question Omnibus Volume 1, Promethea by Alan Moore Deluxe Edition Volumes 1 to 3, American Vampire Volumes 1 through 8 by Scott Snyder, The Last God. We have the originals by Dave Gibbons. Then we have DMZ Compendium Volume 1 and 2. Hopefully we get an omnibus sometime in the future. Next to that, we have all 26 volumes of Hellblazer. This series has been pretty blessed with some great writers and illustrators throughout the entire series. Next, we have some Batman, The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, Haunted Night, Hush, Rip. Next to that, we have The Exterminators. Moving on to our next shelf, we have some absolutes. The Killing Joke, Swamp Thing Absolute 1 to 3, V for Vendetta, Absolute Watchmen. Next to that, we have some Dark Horse libraries. We have the Neil Gaiman Library 1 to 3, Lady Killer by Joelle Jones, awesome book, followed by The Art of Fallout 4 and Tales from Harrow County Volume 1. Next up is Big Damn Sin City. Now we're going back to Vertigo. We have Northlanders Volumes 1, 2, and 3 by Brian Wood, some Swamp Thing by Mark Miller, The Complete Suiciders, Transmetropolitan, my favorite Warren Ellis work, Unknown Soldier by Garth Ennis, Invincible Compendium 1 to 3 by Robert Kirkman, Spawn Compendium 1 and 2. I think I'm going to go with the upcoming deluxe editions. Fear Agent 1 to 4, Rick Remender, The Scumbag, Death or Glory, hoping to upgrade those to hardcover. Crossover by Donny Cates, Postal, The Realm, Black Road by Brian Wood, De-Evolution by Rick Remender, Eclipse, Extremity Now, Volumes 1 and 2, God Country by Donny Cates, The Goddamned, This is a Biblical Post-Apocalyptic Tale by Jason Aaron, Isola, Invisible Republic, Fell by Warren Ellis, The Weatherman, King Spawn Volume 1, not a bad series, Rachel Rising Now Omnibus, Wasteland Compendium 1 and 2. Next up, we have a great post-apocalyptic series called Crossed. It's bloody, gory, graphic, sexually disturbing. I highly recommend it if you're into the genre. Moving along, we have some Alan Moore titles. We have Neonomicon, Fashion Beast, Scars by Warren Ellis, Baby Teeth by Donny Cates. An omnibus is coming up this month, I believe. Chinatown by the Goon. I did sell my Goon libraries, unfortunately. Another great series by Eric Powell, Hillbilly. Did You Hear What Eddie Gein Done? After that, we have Coda, volumes 1 to 3. This really deserves a hardcover, I think. Next is Meme Tick by James Tynion IV. Interesting story about a meme that tries to end the world. Next is Red Room by Ed Piskor. 2 volumes there. Rye by Matt Kint. 2 volumes. Still need to pick up volumes 3 and 4. Nottingham, volume 1. A great indie book called Our War you probably haven't heard about. The Crow Special Edition. The Contract with God trilogy by Will Eisner, very important book. Orwell's 1984 comic adaptation. Orwell's Animal Farm graphic novel adaptation. Some more Alan Moore stuff with Future Shocks, volumes 1 and 2. The Complete Skiz, Alan Moore. The Ballad of Halo Jones, Alan Moore. That is getting a color omnibus shortly. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? The binding on that is completely effed. Mouse by Spiegelman. My Friend Dahmer. Tombstone Hand, Rick Veitch. Can't Get No Rick Veitch. Punisher Max Complete Collection, volumes 1 to 3. I can't find any more of those. Maximum Carnage Trade. Moving on to our next shelf, we've got some graded McFarlane books, followed by our Marvel Omnibus section. We've got Alias, awesome book by Brian Michael Bendis. Aliens Omnibus, volumes 1 to 3. If you're a fan of Aliens movies, you want to expand on that universe, I think these books are great. The 4th volume is going to be coming out this year as well. So Cloak and Dagger now, volume 1. Volume 2 sucks. Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis. Very nice cover there on volume 2. Daredevil by Ed Brubaker. Hopefully the 2nd volume gets announced this year. Fantastic Four, volume 1. Volume 2 now. The most recent reprint, volume 3. And volume 4. Next we have The Incredible Hulk, volume 1. Unfortunately, Hulk doesn't get much love since there's only one classic omnibus. Hellstorm by Warren Ellis. Miracle Man Now by Alan Moore. The Punisher by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. Happy to have that in my collection now. Predator, the original Marvel Years Omnibus, volume 1. I'm currently reading that. The Silver Surfer, volume 1. The Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus, volume 1. This is a 2nd printing, massive book. Volume 2 now. Volume 3. And volume 4 is going to be reprinted this year, thankfully. Volume 5. Spider-Man by Roger Stern. Amazing Spider-Man by David Michelinie and Todd McFarlane. Great book. Spider-Man by Michelini and Eric Larson. Uncanny X-Men now, volumes 1 to 3. I did have volume 4, however, I did kind of lose interest in the series afterwards. Volume 5 drops this year. Next to that, we've got Silver Surfer Homecoming. Moving on down, we have The Boys by Garth Ennis. Now we've got some Image hardcovers with Decorum. Ice Cream Man. Read this, please. If you have not, that is. Injection by Warren Ellis. Saga by Brian K. Vaughan, volumes 1 to 3. Spawn covers 1 to 100 since they gypped us in the compendiums. Severed by Scott Snyder. Now we've got some Rick Remender oversized hardcovers. We've got Crawl Space, Deadly Class, volumes 1 to 3. Low, volumes 1 and 2. Probably my favorite work of his. Sci-fi post-apocalyptic. And 7 to Eternity. Moving on to shelf number 4, we've got some manga now. We've got Berserk volumes 1 through 12, deluxe edition. Blade of the Immortal deluxe editions, volumes 1 through 7. The Drifting Classroom, volumes 1 to 3. Lone Wolf and Cub, my favorite all-time series, all 28 volumes. I'm really hoping that Dark Horse makes an announcement and decides to release these in deluxe hardcovers. Vagabond, another great series based on the wandering Ronin Miyamoto Musashi. Usagi Yojimbo, also based on that same character, only in anthropomorphic form. We've got the second printing of the box set, followed by the Usagi Yojimbo sagas, volumes 1 through 9. Volume 8 is missing, however, it's going to be reprinted this year. If you're into this specific Ronin, you should definitely read that book. We have the most recent Usagi stuff, followed by Lone Wolf and Cub 2100, TMNT Compendium Volume Number 1. Moving on to our last shelf now, we've got some Junji Ito stuff. Tomei, Uzumaki, Gyo, Smashed. I pretty much read most of his stuff from my local library. The Girl from the Other Side deluxe hardcovers, No Longer Human. Dororo by Azuma Tekuza. Samurai Executioner. Hound. Now on our next shelf, we've got some EC Archive stuff. We have Shock Illustrated, Terror Illustrated, and Crime Illustrated, followed by the recent reprints of Weird Science, Shock Suspense Stories, The Haunt of Fear, The Vault of Horror, and Tales from the Crypt. I missed out on the hardcovers, unfortunately. Here's one of them. Awesome cover. Harrow County Omnibus, Volume 1 and 2. Awesome series there. It's an interesting book. The Last Temptation by Neil Gaiman. Grass Kings by Matt Kint. Moving on to our Boom Studios stuff. Claws by Grant Morrison. Klaus, actually. Rye, the Deluxe Edition. The One by Rick Veitch. Local by Brian Wood. Mort Cinder by Hector Germain Oesterheld. Here's another book by him, The Enternaut. Great post-apocalyptic sci-fi. Violent Cases, Neil Gaiman. Mr. Punch, Neil Gaiman. And Signal to Noise, Neil Gaiman. Alan Moore, A Small Killing. Sarah by Garth Ennis. And Sentient. Now we are getting into our Humanoids section. We have Izuna, volumes 1 and 2. The Mask of Feudo. We've got a kid's book by Alejandro Jodorowsky, The Magical Twins. Not that great. Whispers in the Walls. Psymok. Metal. Colonies. Coma. Legend of the Scarlet Blades. Awesome. Some zombie stuff here. The Z Word. Loving Dead. The Last Ones, a vampire story. The Shadows of Salamanca. Space Bastards, if you're a fan of Derek Robertson, check that out for sure. Swords of Glass. Count. The Fourth Power by Juan Jimenez. The Star Conspiracy by Juan Jimenez. Now we've got our Jodorowsky stuff, The White Llama. Moonface. My all-time favorite Jodorowsky book now, The Metabarons. The Metabarons Second Cycle. The Technopriests. The Incal. A prequel now before The Incal. Another prequel to The Incal. Cycleverse. Jodorowsky's Twisted Tales. Mobius and Jodorowsky together. Again, we have Angel Claws, The Eyes of the Cat, and Madwoman of the Sacred Heart. The Boreas. Bouncer, great Western story there. Followed by the Jodorowsky Library Collection, books 1 through 4. Here's a book I thought I would never find. We have Royal Blood by Jodorowsky. The Sons of El Topo, volumes 1 and 2. Volume 3 is coming out. Showman Killer, volumes 1 to 3. Nights. Now we have all the Snowpiercer books. And that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you've made it to the end of this video, congratulations. Until next time, take care.